Hare Krishna, welcome to this special program on the systematic study of the topmost Vedic scripture, the Srimad Bhagavatam. Before we begin today's session, I shall chant a few prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, I would once more like to welcome everyone to this special program on the systematic study of the topmost among all the Vedic scriptures, the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are now studying the fourth chapter of the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, although relatively the smallest among the 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, containing only 10 chapters and 393 verses or shlokas, yet is very important in terms of its content. Already Shukadeva Goswami has explained the highest perfection, the highest duty and activity of all people at all times to be the path of bhakti yoga, of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, especially by the process of hearing, chanting and remembering about the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Now, in the fourth chapter of the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we find a few more questions and queries raised by Parikshit Maharaj, and Shukadeva Goswami, before beginning to reply to the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, offers some very beautiful prayers to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So the main content of the fourth chapter of the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam are the prayers offered by Shukadeva Goswami. So 2.4.1, the fourth chapter of the second canto, begins with the statement by Suta Goswami, who is narrating the Srimad Bhagavatam to the sages of Naimisharanya. Suta uvacha Vaiyasake riti vachas tattvadarshanamaatmanaha upadharya matim krishne Auttareyaha satim yathat. Auttareyaha, the son of Uttara or Parikshit Maharaj, having heard these instructions from Shukadeva Goswami, who is also known as Vaiyasaki, the son of Vedavyasa, Upadharya Matim Krishne, completely concentrated his mind on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. After hearing that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Krishna, and also the path, the highest perfection is to completely absorb one's consciousness in the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, after withdrawing our consciousness from all material affairs and all material subject matters. So in this way, Parikshit Maharaj is explained and described here that Atmajaya Sutagara Pashu Dravina Bandhushu Rajye Cha Avikale Nityam Virudham Mamatam Jahau. Parikshit was such a great, saintly and renounced king that he immediately gave up all his material affiliation to all material objects, including one's body, including his own body, Atma, Jaya, to wife, Suta, to his children, Aghara, to his great treasury, Sutaghara, Pashu Dravina Bandhushu Rajyecha Avikale Nityam Virudham. So all these attachments are mentioned here to be Virudham, or very, very deep rooted. Every living entity in this material world has got deep rooted attachment to one's body, wife, children, family, and all these material connections. But the great King Parikshit Maharaj immediately gave up Virudham Mamatam. All these aspects of I and mine were severed. This knot of material connection was completely severed and given up by Parikshit Maharaj. And after that, Papracha chemamevagdham yanmam prichata sattamaha. Parikshit put forth a few more questions to Shukadeva Goswami. He specifically asked about the Supreme Lord's activities in connection with the material world. The Supreme Lord has two kinds of activities or divine pastimes. So these divine pastimes have been divided into two parts. One are the Supreme Lord's activities in terms of the material cosmic manifestation, and the second kind of activities are his divine eternal pastimes, which are specifically meant to fulfill the final objective of the cosmic material manifestation. So we need to understand that the ultimate objective of the material creation is to give an opportunity, a chance to all the conditioned souls of this material world who are in material bondage due to their ignorance and due to their turning away from the Supreme Lord. That is the basic root cause, the fundamental cause of material bondage of all the living entities in this samsara. And therefore, the actual objective of the material creation is to give a chance, an opportunity to all the living entities to again reinstate themselves in their original spiritual constitutional position and go back to our original home, the kingdom of God, the spiritual world. So therefore, the Supreme Lord has one kind of activities in terms of the creation, maintenance, and the destruction of the cosmic, of the material creation. And the second kind of activities are his eternal divine pastimes, which are originally from the spiritual world, and they are displayed by the Supreme Lord in this material world. And these activities provide the impetus, provide the platform, provide the ultimate opportunity that simply by discussing about these divine pastimes, one can become free from all material bondage and go back home, back to the spiritual world. So right now Parikshit is inquiring about the Supreme Lord's activities in terms of the material creation. So this is also a very significant inquiry. Whenever we see the world around us, the vast sky and all the different variegated things of this world, inquisitive mind should immediately inquire that this huge world, this cosmic manifestation, what is the background behind it? Who has created this entire creation? What is the purpose and objective of it? So these are the kind of questions also inquired by Parikshit Maharaj. he asks in 2.4.6 that Bhuya eva vivitsami Bhagavan Atma Mayaya Yathedam Srijate Vishwam Durvibhavyam Adhishwarehi. That I wish to know that how does Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord Krishna, yatha idam srijate vishwam, how does he create this cosmic manifestation, this material world, which is durvibhavyam adhishwaraihi, which is difficult to conceive, which is inconceivable even to the great devatas, to the demigods. And he specifically further continues to inquire in 2.4.7 that yatha gopayati vibhur yatha samyachate punaha yam yam shaktim upashritya purushaktihi parapuman Atmanam kridayan kridan karoti vikaroti cha. Kindly describe how the Supreme Lord yatha gopayati, how does he maintain this material creation? Yatha samyachate punaha, how does he withdraw or completely destroy this material creation? So how are these the most important aspects about this material creation are that it is created, it stays for some time, and finally it is completely destroyed. And technically these manifestations of the material creation are known as Srishti is creation, Sthiti is maintenance, and Laya or Pralaya or Vinasha is the complete destruction. So how do these occur? How the material creation is created, is maintained, and finally destroyed is the subject matter of inquiry by Parikshit Maharaj in this 4th chapter of the 2nd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Parikshit says, Vichikitsitame tanme bravitu bhagavan yatha shabde brahmani nishnataha parasmimscha bhavan khalu. Parikshit says that you are the most learned and qualified person. He addresses to Shukadeva Goswami to answer these questions of mine. So when Shukadeva Goswami was thus inquired by Parikshit Maharaj, Iti upamantrito raja gunanukathane harehe hrishikesham anusmritya prativaktum prachakrame. Shukadeva Goswami intensely meditated on the Supreme Lord and offered these wonderful prayers which are recorded in the 4th chapter of the 2nd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam from text number 12 up to 24. The very beautiful prayers offered by Shukadeva Goswami are found here. Shri Shuka Uvacha, Shukadeva Goswami begins his prayers by saying, Namah parasmai purushaya bhuyase sadudbhavasthana nirodha leelaya Grihita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Antarbhavaya Nupalakshyavatmane. Parikshit had inquired about Srishti, about Udbhava, Sthana and Nirodha. And Shukadeva Goswami immediately offers his prayer to the Supreme Lord, who is Namaha Parasmai, that I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who for the Udbhava, Sthana and Nirodha, for the creation and maintenance and destruction of this material world, he kind of kridan, he plays with the 3 gunas, with the 3 modes of material nature. For the Supreme Lord, it is very important to note here that Udbhava, Sthana and Nirodha, the creation, maintenance and destruction of the entire material creation is Leelaya. It is mentioned here that it is simply a pastime, it is like a play, it is like a game for the Supreme Lord. He does not have to exert all his energies. It is very all these activities of creation, maintenance and destruction are done effortlessly by the Supreme Lord, just like a leela, just like a pastime or a small game. So in this way, Shukadeva Goswami continues that Bhuyo namasad vrijinachide satam asambhavaya khila sattva murtaye Pumsam punah paramahamsya ashrame vyavasthitanam anumrigyadashuse. That I again, bhuyaha means again I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the form of complete existence as well as the transcendence, who is the one who gives liberation to all the living entities of this world. So this is the objective, the purpose of the material creation is to attain liberation, and that can be granted only by the Supreme Lord. So in this way, Shukadeva Goswami further says that Namo Namaste Strishabhaya Sattvatam Vidura Kasthaya Muhukku Yoginam Nirasta Samyati Shayena Radhasa Swadhamani Brahmani Ramsyate Namaha. Let me again offer my respectful obeisances unto him who is, although a part of the Yadu dynasty, but he is always never understood by the non-devotees who do not surrender to him. So the subject matter of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is always mysterious and always incomprehensible for those who do not surrender unto the Supreme Lord or to the spiritual master who is the representative of the Supreme Lord. Factually, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of both the material and the spiritual worlds. Yet he is always situated in Swadhamani, in his original supreme abode in the Vaikuntha Loka. He is Ramsyate. He always enjoys his divine, eternal, infinite pastimes in the spiritual world, which is mentioned here as Swadhamani Ramsyate Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto that Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Yad Kirtanam, Yad Smaranam, Yad Ikshanam, Yad Vandanam, Yad Shravanam, Yad Arhanam, Lokasya Sadhyo Vidhunoti Kalmasham, Tasmai Subhadra Shravase Namo Namaha. In 2.4.15, this is a very beautiful prayer that simply by Yat Kirtanam, Yat Smaranam, Yad Ikshanam, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, by whose glorification, remembrance, audience, by seeing his form, prayers, hearing and by worshipping him, Sadhyaha, one can at once completely cleanse the sins of all of everyone in this material world. The cause for the bondage of living entities in this samsara are the innumerable sinful actions and reactions that have been performed by the living entities. But all of them, the infinite tons and tons of sinful reactions, can immediately be, the word is used here as sadhyaha, or immediately can be vidhunoti. Dhunoti means to cleanse and vidhunoti means to completely cleanse without leaving even a little trace. Can be completely be cleansed. Vidhunoti kalmasham. All our material contaminations can be cleansed simply by yad kirtanam, yad smaranam, yad ikshanam, yad vandanam, yad shravanam, yad arhanam, by glorifying, by remembering, by seeing his deity form, his archa vigraha, yad vandanam, by offering prayers, yad shravanam, by hearing about him, and yad arhanam, by worshipping him. So, Tasmai Subhadra Shravase Namo Namaha. This very special word is going to be used in the next 3 verses as well. In these 3 prayers of Shukadeva Goswami, he addresses Krishna as Subhadra Shrava, or one who is all auspicious. Simply by hearing Shravase, simply by hearing about Krishna is the most auspicious activity in this entire world. Further, in 2.4.16, Shukadeva Goswami prays that Vichakshana yaccharanopasadarat sangam vyudasyo bhayatontaratmanaha vindantihi brahmagatim gataklamas tasmai subhadra shravase namo namaha. Let me offer my respectful obeisances again and again to the all-auspicious Lord Shri Krishna. Those who are highly intellectual, simply by surrendering unto his lotus feet, are relieved from all attachments to present and future material existences, and without any difficulty they progress to the supreme perfection of spiritual attainment. So in this way, it is further in the next prayer, Shukadeva Goswami says that Tapasvino dana parayashasvino manasvino mantravidassu mangalaha kshemam na vindanti vinaya darpanam tasmai subhadra shravase namo namaha. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-auspicious Lord Shri Krishna again and again, because all the acts of charity, of distinction, of all the activities of the great philosophers, the mystics, the great chanters of the Vedic hymns, all of them, they can never achieve the ultimate perfection without dedication of their activities of either charity or chanting or philosophy or all these things. They cannot attain the supreme perfection without dedicating these acts unto the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. 2.4.18 is a very, very beautiful prayer, a very important prayer, wherein Shukadeva Goswami says that Kirata Huna Andhra Pulinda Pulkasha Abhira Shumbha Yavana Khasadayaha Yenyecha Papa Yadapashrayashrayaha Shuddhyanti Tasmai Prabha Vishnave Namaha. That all kinds of people who are even addicted to sinful activities, all races, all classes of people, including the Kiratas, the Hunas, the Andhras, the Pulindas, the Pulkashas, the Abhiras, Shumbha, Yavana, Khasas. So, Yenyecha Papa, Yed Apashra. So, all kinds of the most fallen kind of people can also attain the ultimate destination simply by taking shelter of the Supreme Lord, or even the shelter of the pure devotees of the Supreme Lord. So such is the supreme purifying potency of the Supreme Lord. It is also chanted before any auspicious function that Om apavitraha pavitro va sarvavastham gatopi va yasmaret Pundarikaksham Sabahya Shuchihi. That simply by remembering the Supreme Lord Krishna, by chanting his holy name, Sarvavastham Gatopiva, in all conditions, in all circumstances, both externally and internally, Bahya Abhyantaraha Shuddhyanti, one becomes immediately purified. So such is the the purifying potency of the chanting of the holy name of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So in this way, Shukadeva Goswami further says that Yad Angrabhidhyana Samadhidhautaya Dhyanupashyanti hi Tattvamatmanaha Vadanti Chaitat Kavayo Yatharucham Same Mukundo Bhagavan Prasidatam. It is actually the Supreme Lord Krishna who can give liberation. The name of Krishna here is mentioned as Mukunda. Mukunda means one who gives the two greatest spiritual attainments of Mukti and Ananda. Mukunda means one who gives Mukti, liberation, and Ananda or divine spiritual pleasure. So it is Mukunda, Shri Krishna, who can grant liberation, Mukti, and spiritual bliss, divine Ananda, by thinking of his lotus feet. Yad Angri Abhidhyana, at every moment following in the footsteps of the great devotees. So one can attain the highest perfection of understanding the complete absolute truth. So in this way, finally, Shukadeva Goswami in his prayer, he prays to the Supreme Lord in 2.4.23 that Bhuter Mahadbhirya Imapir Puro Vibhur Nirmaya Shete Yadamushu Purushaha Bhumte Gunan Shodasha Shodashatmakaha Solankrashishta Bhagavan Vacham Sime. Shukadeva Goswami, taking the position of a humble devotee, one of the most important characteristic of a pure devotee is that he is always very humble. So namrata, so out of his humility, although he knows the entirety of absolute truth, he prays to Bhagavan, to the Supreme Lord, that Saha Alankarashishta Bhagavan Vacham Sime. So may my statements, whatever I am going to speak now, let it be Alankritaha, let it be decorated by the grace, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So a devotee always takes this humble position. A devotee does not consider that that he or she is a great orator or a great speaker, but always takes the shelter of the Supreme Lord, and whatever is inspired by the grace of the Supreme Lord is spoken by a pure devotee. So in this way, Shukadeva Goswami says that Namastasmai Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Papur Jnanamayam Soumya Yanmukham Buruha Savam. He then offers his respectful obeisances unto his spiritual master, the great sage Vedavyasa, who is also his father. And then Parikshit Maharaj had inquired about the process of creation, maintenance and destruction of this material world, of this entire cosmic manifestation. So Shukadeva Goswami now begins to answer this question by referring to another conversation that had taken place long back at the beginning of creation between the great sage Narada with Lord Brahma. So, etad evatma bhurajan Naradaya viprichyate Vedagarbho abhyadhat sakshat yat aha hariratmanaha. That Brahma was similarly questioned by Narada about the mysteries of the material creation, and at that time Brahma exactly, perfectly, precisely apprised him on this subject matter. So it was directly spoken. Brahma had received this understanding from the Supreme Lord. So at the beginning of creation. So in this way, we are now going to proceed to the 5th chapter of the 2nd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The 5th and 6th chapters of the 2nd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam contain this very, very interesting conversation between Narada and Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, who is ordinarily understood to be the creator of this material creation, is going to reveal the great secret behind the actual creator, the original creator, and the mysteries of this material creation. So, the 5th chapter of the 2nd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the inquiries put forth by Narada. So, Narada Vacha. Once, at the beginning of creation, the great sage Narada, who is also the son of Lord Brahma, approached Lord Brahma and offered these prayers and also inquired about these questions. Narada Vacha Deva Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvacha Tad Vijanihi Yadgyanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Narada Muni inquired from Brahmaji that I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, that I wish to know Tad Vijanihi. Please explain to me that knowledge about Atma Tattva Nidarshanam, about the Atma, about the soul, and the super soul, about the Paramatma. Narada says, Yad Rupam Yad Adhishtanam Yatasrishtam Idam Prabho Yat Tat Yat Samstham Yat Param Yatcha Tat Tattvam Vada Tattvataha. Please describe factually the actual symptoms of this material world. What is its background? Yad Rupam, Yad Adhishtanam. How is it created? How is it conserved or maintained? And under whose control is all these being done? Sarvam hetad bhavan veda bhuta bhavya bhavat prabhu karamalakavad vishvam Vijnanavasitam tava. This is a very, very important statement by Narada Muni, that he tells Brahmaji, Sarvam hietad bhavan veda. You definitely know the real truth about the mystery of this material creation, being Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Because it was you who are known as the creator of everything, of every creation, either in the past, present, or in the future. So Brahma is known as the creator, and this entire material universe, this entire material world is Kara Amalakavat. Kara means the hand, and just like Amalaka, a small fruit like an amla fruit can easily be held in the hand, in the palm, in the grip of a person. Likewise, this entire material universe itself is held by Lord Brahma like a small fruit in his hand. So it seems that Lord Brahma is the supreme creator, is the supreme controller. So this is how it is being placed by Narada in front of Brahma. He further says that Yad Vijnano Yad Adharo Yad Parastvam Yad Atmakaha Ekaha Srijasi Bhutani Bhuterevatma Mayaya. That what is your real position? I think that Ekaha Srijasi, you alone create this entire material world. Just like a spider creates a web and then takes it back. So without anybody's help, he says, Atman bhavaya setani na parabhavayam swayam atma shaktim avashtabhya ugnanabhir ivaklamaha. As the spider very easily creates the network of its cobweb and then manifests its power of creation, So likewise, Brahma, you are the creator, you are the independent and supreme creator. So naham veda param hyasmin na param na samam pravibho nama rupa guner bhavyam sad asad kinchidanyataha. Narada says that I think that there is no one superior to you. You are the supreme creator. So everything that is created does not have any source apart from you. You are so great. You are so vibhu. So now, after praising Brahma in such an exalted manner, now, so Narada is practically telling Brahma that it seems that you are the supreme independent creator, you are the supreme God. But now in 2.5.7, he again puts a pinprick. He kind of fills, just like you can fill a tire and then puncture it. He's now pinpricking his entire description and saying that, but yet I am getting a doubt because sabhavan acharad ghoram yattapassu samahitaha tena khedayase nastvam parashankam chayachasi. That although it seems that you are the supreme creator, yet bhavan acharad ghoram yat tapaha. We are also, Narada says that we also, when we think that Brahma, it is explained that Brahma performed a lot of tapasya. He performed intense penance and austerities after the creation, at the beginning of creation. So Narada is inquiring that because you performed Ghora Tapasya, intense austerities and penances, I am a little doubtful. Tena khedayase. It gives pain and doubt to me. Parashankam chayachasi. Is there anyone who is superior or higher than you? So in this way, Narada says that etan me pritchata sarvam sarvagnya sakaleshwara vijanihi yathai vedam aham buddhinu shasitaha. Narada asked this very, very important question about material creation to the supposedly original creator of this material world. So this is a very, very significant question. Narada is asking the supposed creator of this material world that are you the original creator or is there something or someone beyond you? And now from 2.5.9 we find the most perfect. So who can be a greater authority than Lord Brahma himself to reveal the mystery and secret of the entire background, the purpose of this entire material creation? So here we find the answers, the perfect answers given by Lord Brahma to Narada and to all of us. Brahmovacha samyak karunikasjedam vatsate vichikitsitam yadaham choditas saumya bhagavad virya darshane. So Brahma first of all congratulates Narada that you have asked this very important question to help the entire world for all times to come, for posterity, about the real truth about the material creation. So Brahma immediately begins to answer that na anritam tavatacchapi yathamam prabravishi bhoho avijnaya param matta etavatvam yato hime, that whatever you have spoken is normally spoken by everyone who think that I am the creator. But the fact is that people who do not know, who are in ignorance about the Supreme Lord, avijnaya param mattaha, those who are unaware of the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, they do speak in these manners. So in this way, so the real fact is that येन स्वरोचिषा विश्वं रोचितं रोचयाम्यहं यथार्कोऽग्निर्यथा सोमो यथाक्षग्रहतारकः, that actually I create only after the Lord's creation. So rochitam rochayamyaham. So factually Brahmaji acknowledges that he is only a secondary creator and not the primary creator. And he says that the primary creator is none other than, he reveals in 2.5.12 that Tasmai namo bhagavate vasudevaya dhimahi yanmayaya dugchayaya mamadanti jagadgurum, that I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Absolute Truth, the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, by whose illusory energy the less intelligent people call me or call Brahma as the supreme controller. So in this way, finally, Brahmaji says that dravyam karma cha kalascha swabhavo jiva eva cha vasudevat paro brahman nachanyo thosti tattvataha. All the different elements of this material world, the five elementary, the dravyam refers to the ingredients of the creation, or the interaction which is started by kalam, dravyam, kalam, and the various, the three gunas. So all of these are under the complete and supreme controller of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva Krishna, and factually there is no other truth beyond him. So this is again very beautifully expressed by Lord Brahma in 2.5.15 and 16 as Narayana para Veda Deva Narayanangachaha Narayana para Loka Narayana para Makhaha Narayana paro Yogo Narayana param Tapaha Narayana param Jnanam Narayana para Ghatihi. That actually all the Vedic literatures, Narayana para Veda, are meant to understand the Supreme Lord Narayana. The Devaha Narayanangachaha, the Devatas are also meant to serve the Supreme Lord Narayana. The different planets, all the lokas are meant for the sake of the Lord. The different sacrifices, the yagnas, are just performed to please the Supreme Lord Narayana paro yogo. He is the supreme object of all yoga. It is Krishna for whom all penance and austerities are performed, and likewise jnanam, all transcendental knowledge, is meant to get a glimpse of Narayana, and Narayana paragatihi, ultimate salvation is to enter the kingdom of the Supreme Lord Narayana. So without the least without giving even the slightest of confusion for anybody in the future, for posterity, Brahmaji has given these conclusive statements that he is actually not the supreme creator or controller. He is only a secondary creator who continues to take the ingredients and the kala and the various gunas and continues the creation which is originally created by the Supreme Lord Vasudeva Krishna. So how does this material creation exactly come into existence, and how it happens is now very technically explained by Lord Brahma to Narada, that how at the beginning of creation the Supreme Lord, who is actually completely spiritual and Trigunatita, yet nirgunasya gunastrayah sattvam rajastama iti, he interacts with the three modes of material nature for the sake of sthiti sarga nirodheshu, for the creation, maintenance and the destruction of this material universe. So how exactly the creation is done, is executed by the Supreme Lord, is now going to be explained in this chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that kalam karma svabhavam cha mayesho mayaya svaya atman yadrichaya praptam vibhushur upadade. The Lord, who is a supreme controller of all energies, by his own potency called the eternal time, kalam, he creates all the various manifestations of this material world, and by the interaction of kala with the three modes of material nature, with mahat tattva, mahatastu vikurvanad rajas sattvopabrimhitat tamah pradhanasva bhavan dravya jnana kriyashrayah. So, by the agitation of Mahat Tattva, by agitating the Mahat Tattva by his glance, the Supreme Lord sets forth the cycle of creation in this cosmic manifestation. So that is explained very technically here, that so ahankara iti prokto vikurvan samabhutridha वैकारिकस्तैजसश्च तामसश्चेति यद्भिधा द्रव्यशक्तिः क्रियाशक्तिर्ज्ञानशक्तिर् इति प्रभो. The Supreme Lord, by casting his glance on the Mahat Tattva, Mahat Tattva is the original conglomeration of all the material elements, which are later going to be enumerated as 24 in number. So they are all at the beginning of creation, they are all in one mass known as Mahat Tattva. They are all, it is also known as the Hiranyagarbha. So it is like a anda or an egg-shaped Hiranyagarbha. So this Mahat Tattva is agitated by the glance of the Supreme Lord in his Purusha Avatara, in his Purusha incarnation as Karanodakashai Vishnu. And when the Mahat Tattva is agitated by the glance of the Supreme Lord, the Mahat Tattva first interacts with the three modes of material nature. When it interacts with Sattva Guna, that interaction is known technically as Vaikarika. When it interacts with Rajoguna, the mode of passion, it is known as Rajasaha. And when the Mahat Tattva interacts, the elements interact with the Tamoguna, the mode of ignorance, it is known as Tamasa. So Vaikarika, Rajasa and Tamasa creation is being explained here, that Tamasadapi bhutadir vikurvanara bhunnabhaha tasya matra gunas shabdo lingam yadgashti drishyayoho. In the Mahat Tattva, after the agitation by the casting of glance of the Supreme Lord in his Purusha Avatara as Karanodakashai Vishnu, the entire Mahat Tattva is agitated, is brought into action, and first by the interaction of Mahat Tattva with Tamo Guna, guna, the five great elements known as the Pancha Mahabhutas are created. So the beginning of creation is the glance of Karanodakashayi Vishnu upon Mahat Tattva, and from Mahat Tattva, by the interaction of Tamo Guna, the Pancha Mahabhutas, the five great elements are created. So these five great elements, first the sky is generated, which is also known as ether, and the subtle form of ether is the quality of sound. So this is actually not the sky that we see up above us. This is the element sky, which has the component, the quality of shabda or sound incorporated in it. When it is in the primarily in the exclusive unique position of having only the quality of sound, that element is known as akasha or the sky. And when later by further agitation nabhasotha vikurmanat asid sparshaguno nilaha paranvayat shabdavamscha prana ojasaho balam. So when the sky is further transformed, the next element, the next great element, which is anilaha or air, is generated, which includes the quality of sparsha or touch. So anything that can be heard only is sky. Anything that can be heard and also can be felt is air. And in this way, each of the subsequent element has the quality of the previous element as well. So in this way, when air is further transformed, vayorapi vikurmanad asid sparshago kalakarma swabhavataha udapadyada tejo vai. So next, when air is transformed, fire is generated, which is known as teja or agni. So agni is not just the fire that we see. Actually, agni is anything that can that has the quality of sound, sparsha and rupa as well. So that which can be heard, felt and seen is the element of agni. Not so this is not the generic definition, this is the real understanding of the pancha mahabhutas. So they have these tanmatras, so therefore they have this is the actual definition of the five elements. Then when fire is further transformed, it leads to the generation of the next element, water, which also has got rasa, that which has a taste. So that is water. So water is that which can be, which has the elements of sound, form, touch as well as taste. And when Visheshastu Vikurvanad Asid Ambho Rasatmakam Rupavat Sparshavat Chambho Ghoshavacha Paranvayat, when finally this water is transformed, the final element of earth or Parthiva or Bhumi is generated, which also has got the quality of odor or fragrance or smell. So actually earth is the final element which has got the qualities of all the five elements. It has the qualities of sound, touch, form, taste as well as smell. So earth is not just the earth that we know of. Earth is any element. It is the definition, the technical definition, the scientific definition which is being given here is that any element, anything that can be heard, seen, felt, tasted and also can be smelt is actually earth or bhumi. Further, it is explained that Vaikarikarmanojagne Deva Vaikarikadasha Digvatarkapkachetoshvi Vahnino Pendra Mitrakaha. That from the mode of goodness, so the Pancha Mahabhutas, the five great elements, are generated by the agitation of Tamoguna on Mahat Tattva, but by the agitation of the mode of goodness, Sattva Guna, on the Mahat Tattva. The next elements that are generated are Manaha, the mind, and also the Devaha, all the Devatas. So these Devatas, specifically first the 10 Devatas are generated, which are Vayu, Surya, Daksha Prajapati, the Ashwini Kumaras, the Agni, and the Svarpala, that is Indra, the worshipable deity in heaven, the chief of the Adityas, and Brahma. So all the Devatas come into existence. All these principal Devatas first come into existence. And then in 2.5.31 is the description of the creation with the interaction with Taijasa, or the mode of Rajoguna, the mode of passion. Taijasa tu vikurvanat indriyani dasha bhavan jnana shakti kriya shaktir buddhi pranascha taijasau Shrotram Tvagrana Drigjihva Vagdor Medrangripaayavaha. That by further transformation of the Mahatattva with the Rajoguna, with the mode of passion, the mode of passion or Rajoguna generates the sense organs, the pancha, the five jnanendriyas and the five karmendriyas. The five jnanendriyas are Shrotram, Tvag, Grana, Drig, Jihva, are the ears, the skin, the nose, the eyes, and Jihva, the sense of tasting. And the five karmendriyas are Vagdor Medrangripaayavaha, the faculty of speech, Dor Medrangripaayavaha, the hands, the legs, and the generating organ and the evacuating organ. So these are the five jnanendriyas and the five karmendriyas which are generated. The totality of these things are generated at the time of creation by Rajoguna, by the mode of passion. And then in this way the next creation is explained, that Bhagavat Shakti Choditaha, that all these become assembled by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And next, after a very, very long time, Vaksha Puga Sahasrante Tadandam Udakeshayam Kala Karma Swabhavastho Jivo Jivam Ajivayat. So all the various universes remain in that causal ocean known as the Karana Arnava or the Karana Jala, the causal ocean. And then finally Karanodakashai Vishnu Jivo Jivam Ajivayat Tad Andam Udakeshayam. The Supreme Lord enters into each of the Brahmanda, each of the universe, and then starts the next step of creation. First, he creates the Mahat Tattva, agitates it by his glance, creates all the various 24 basic elements, and then enters into each Brahmanda, and then Sa eva Purushas Tasmad Andam Nirbhidya Nirgataha Sahasrorvanghi Bahvakshaha Sahasranana Shishavan. The next this expansion of the Purushavatara, the Karanodakashai Vishnu is one, and he enters by his expansion, by his amsha into each of the universes, and that expansion is known as Garbhodakashai Vishnu. And Garbhodakashai Vishnu, after entering into each Brahmanda, lies down again on the Garbhodaka ocean, and then from his navel comes out the lotus flower, which is the birthplace of Lord Brahma, and the stem of that lotus flower is the location of all the 14 planetary systems. So in this way, Brahma explains that all these 14 planetary systems are located in the different parts of the Virat Rupa. The Sahasra, the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu further expands into the Virat Rupa of the Vishwarupa. In the Vishwarupa, he explains that Bhuglokaha Kalpita Padbhyam Bhuvaglokosya Nabhitaha Hrida Svagloka Urasa Mahagloko Mahatmanaha. The lower planetary systems are situated in the legs of the Virat Rupa, the middle planetary systems up in the navel, and the upper planetary systems, the Swargaloka, are situated in the chest of the Virat Rupa of the Supreme Lord. Grivayam Janalokosya Tapolokastanadvayat Mugdhavi Satyalokastu Brahmalokas Sanatanaha. From the forefront of the chest up to the neck of the Virat Rupa are the Janaloka and Tapoloka. The Brahmaloka is situated on the head of the Virat Rupa. So in this way, the lower planetary systems are further explained to be situated on the various parts of the Virat Rupa of the universal form of the Supreme Lord, which is just a manifestation and expansion from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So in this way, the entire creation is brought about by solely under the supreme control of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So therefore Brahma very clearly and emphatically explains in the 5th chapter of the 2nd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam that the supreme creator, the original creator and the supreme controller of the entire material creation is none other than Vasudeva Shri Krishna. This will further be very beautifully explained in the 6th chapter of the 2nd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam as well, which we shall continue in the next session tomorrow. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please do press the like button to receive further new notifications of the upcoming future videos. And if you have any questions about the subject matter, please do post on the WhatsApp group or in the comments box. And please do join us for the continuation of the systematic study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.